Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new to the channel, my name is Sophia and I make book-related videos, mainly videos about literary fiction and mystery thriller books, but a little bit of everything. And today I am chatting about a nonfiction book, and that of course is The Story of a Heart by Dr. Rachel Clark. I found out about this book through the Women's Prize for Nonfiction, and I just uploaded a video where I chat about all of the books on that list and the ones that caught my eye the most. And this was on the very top of that list. So, of course, ran to the library and through some very dramatic trying to find it on a display case in the depths of the third floor of the library, I managed to get it and I read it voraciously through about 2 sittings. After I finished, I knew I had to sit down and chat with you guys about it, and so this is going to be a non-spoilery review. This is, of course, a nonfiction book. It was published by Scribner, which is an imprint of Simon & Schuster, and it was published in 2024. It comes in at 218 pages. The inside flap, I think, does a great little intro of this one, and it says, "A riveting true story of 2 families linked by one heart." Written by best-selling author and palliative care doctor. And I really think that that gives you a good sense of what you're getting into with this one. So this book follows Kira, who is a young 9-year-old girl. She's very spirited, loves horse riding and the color orange. And one day, as her family is traveling along a particularly perilous section of road in Devon where she lives, they unfortunately get in a head-on collision. Many of the members of the family are taken directly to the hospital, but unfortunately at the scene, Kira's heart stops. She is revived and brought to a nearby hospital, but unfortunately, because of how long her heart had stopped, her brain was deprived of some much needed oxygen, and unfortunately, she is quickly found to be brain dead. We also follow Max. He is also a 9-year-old boy. At the beginning of the book, he is suffering with kind of an unknown illness. He previously was very adventurous, loves running around, but then his parents noticed he wasn't able to keep up with other boys that were his age. They sought the care of multiple physicians and was told that he had asthma, but unfortunately was misdiagnosed, and it actually turns out that he has a disease called dilated cardiomyopathy, and he is in end-stage heart failure. Max is going to need a heart transplant in order to survive. Kira's family makes the incredibly selfless decision based on what they think Kira's wishes would have been to donate her organs, saving the lives of many people. And of course, her heart goes to Max, who is in desperate need of it. This discussion comes on page 86 of the book, and it says, "ICU doctors have a well-deserved reputation for being imperturbable in even the most harrowing circumstances, but what happens next floors Sarah." Sarah is the ICU doctor that's taking care of Kira. In response to being asked if anyone in the family has any questions, Caitlin, who looks almost identical to Kira, turns her clear blue eyes on the doctor. "She looked directly at me and said, 'Can we donate her organs?' says Sarah. I looked straight back at her because I was not expecting that at all. And then I said, 'Yes, absolutely. We will start looking into that for you if that's what you would like us to do.' Then Caitlin turned to Joe. Joe is Kira's father, and said, 'Dad, we've got to do this because it's what she would have wanted. I know it's what she would have wanted.' This book tells the harrowing time of these two children, but also tells the story of all the people involved in both children's care, or many of them, as well as the story of many of the groundbreaking medical discoveries that made this even possible. The idea of heart transplant and a child being in the ICU, and all of the medical developments that went into that happening. This book is so rare in that it tells a narrative in such a compelling way, but also with so much heart. It is a absolutely beautiful tribute to everybody involved in this story. It is both sad but also hopeful, as one of the things that is quite remarkable about Max and Kira's story is that it laid the groundwork for a law that basically asked families to opt out of transplant rather than opt in of transplant, therefore making life-saving organs more available to those that need them, especially children who often need child donors and unfortunately end up passing away on the transplant list. There's so much appreciation for the absolute sacrifice and gift of Kira's heart. The fact that this isn't something that is really expected, that anybody would ever have to make this decision. And there's so much grace and care into the decision ultimately that was made about the donation of Kira's organs, both on the part of Max's parents, who realized that their son is surviving at the horrible loss of another family, but also all of those involved in the care. And I think the author just navigates this issue incredibly well. The writing of this is clearly from someone who is very in tune with these discussions, with these type of events. And as being a palliative care physician, or a physician that deals with people who have illnesses that will kind of affect them throughout their life, and honoring both the wishes of the people suffering and family members, but also helping people navigate what it's like to live with a chronic illness, it's very clear that she is well-versed and was the perfect person to tell this story. And this book certainly made me curious, Googling the different people and the different events that are brought up, but also just made me tear through pages with tears in my eyes. I wanted to leave you guys with a quote that struck me the most in this book, although there were many parts that were absolutely like imprinted in my brain. This one is the one that I will always remember when I think about this book. And it comes on page 186. This is after Kira has just donated her heart. And it says, "Beneath the searing theater lights, the nursing team washes every inch of Kira. Gentle hands, loving hands, restoring not health, but humanity. Together, they remove the lines and wires, placing clean white dressings over any visible punctures or incisions. Tenderly, they rub her hands and feet with lotion that smells of flowers. Kira is as cold and pale as marble. She could not be more clearly dead. And the point of the last offices is not to pretend otherwise. What these nurses are returning transcends appearance. This is a change of state, a restoration from surgical donor back to cherished human being." I, of course, gave this book a absolute 5 stars. I loved nearly everything about it. I couldn't really find any fault in it, and I'm very eager to read some more on the nonfiction Women's Prize list, given how much I loved this one. I'd love to know if you've read this book, what you thought of it, or have you made your way through any of the other books on the Women's Prize for Nonfiction for this year. And with that, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and I will see you guys very soon with another video.